Hey everybody, it's your old pal Cape Joel back again with yet another trailer breakdown. The newest trailer for X-Men Apocalypse hit today, and I had a lot of fans blowing up my inbox, a lot of them with X-Men avatars asking, Joel, are you going to cover it? Are you going to talk about it? What do you think? Well, I will tell you what I think in just a minute. So as we dig on into the trailer, we're back at the Xavier Institute. We're back in Westchester, man, and it looks the same as it ever did. It's a lot might change in these X-Men movies, but that, almost always looks the same. Speaking of things that change, hey, look, it's our new young Cyclops there. Aw, ain't he cute, kids? They grow up so fast. And over behind him, Nightcrawler wearing Michael Jackson's Thriller jacket. Yeah, it's the 80s, all right. That is the time period that we are in right now, no two ways about it. We get a really interesting scene where we see, I can only assume, the birth of Apocalypse, more or less. The first mutant, the guy who will be the villain of this movie. And I like the whole ancient Egyptian techno-organic thing they're going for. Reminds me a lot of what they did in the cartoons. And, whenever one of the movies take some cues from the cartoons, I'm definitely going to enjoy that. You're going to get some Cape Joel points for doing that. We get a much better look in this trailer of Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse. I know a lot of people were really ticked early on about how purple he looked, and because of that, they eventually would go back in subsequent trailers and production art, and he now looks considerably bluer, so I guess they listened on that. Strangely enough, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who heard this, but his voice sounds much deeper and much more modulated for this. I guess more people complained about his voice, too, so they touched it up. Hopefully, this isn't another Bane-type situation where an actor might be giving a good performance, but it doesn't matter because they sound silly. Get to see some good stuff here of Magneto. Man, Logan's going to be mad when he sees that you stole one of his plaid shirts and now you're just wearing it around to what looks to be a steel mill, looks to be like a machine shop there. And I mean, when you're the master of magnetism, what better place to hide out in than a steel mill? Am I right? Plenty of nice projectile weapons you can throw around. We get a good look at our Storm for this movie. New Storm, who actually travels in a bolt of lightning to this point. They're definitely taking some liberties with her powers. Hopefully Storm will be cool and interesting now. She's already kind of winning points with me for having the Storm Mohawk. As far as I'm concerned, Mohawk Storm is the best Storm and will always be the best Storm in my mind. You can tell that she's one of the new Horsemen of the Apocalypse because she's got the milky white eyes and the kind of Tron-esque suit. Speaking of new suits, hey, look, it's Horseman Magneto, who, man, I think Magneto has had more costume changes in this franchise than just about anybody. Not a terrible suit. I like that he's got the cape and he's got the frills on the bottom. That's a nice touch. Yeah, I know if I ever drew Magneto, that's the way I would go about it. The helmet, of course, has the little dealie on the front, the little, like, not quite antennas, but almost antennas. That's cool. We get to see all the Horsemen united together, looking over ancient Egypt. I wonder if this is just something Apocalypse is showing them, or if we're going to get some actual time travel happening in the movie. I doubt they do time travel again so close to Days of Future Past, but you can dream, right? I'm sure this is just Apocalypse talking about his great plan for the world. We get young Beast, Nicholas Hoult, definitely one of my favorite up-and-coming actors. I think he stole a lot of people's hearts and minds with his role in Fury Road, and here he's back again as Beast. My personal favorite mutant. I don't know if I've ever stated that anywhere, but my favorite X-Men, my favorite good mutant is Beast. And even though they more or less turned him into a werewolf in this new Singerverse, he's still cool. Also, Quicksilver behind him, and what I can only assume is more young mutants. And oh my, as a Canadian, do I love the fact that the super speedster is wearing a Rush shirt for this. Fly by night, farewell to kings to you indeed, Peter Maximoff. Not Pietro Maximoff, but Peter Maximoff. Quicksilver was a huge hit in Days of Future Past, so it only makes sense that they brought him back here, and he seems to have a much bigger role in this movie too, but the writers are also going to have, their work cut out for them, because when you have a character who they've shown to be as powerful as Quicksilver, you're going to have to explain why he just doesn't end the whole movie. And hey, speaking of the end, next up we have a bunch of nukes being launched simultaneously. I think it's funny, thematically, the first Class movie was all about the fear of nuclear war, and oh, look how far we've come in 3 movies where we're still worried about nuclear war and the atom, the children of the atom that are the X-Men. Again, more fun shirts from Quicksilver here. He's got a no doubt stolen Miss Pac-Man machine behind him, and he's wearing a $6 million man shirt. Man, $6 million man, one of the first true great superheroes. I like that Quicksilver is a fan of him. We see a new workshop, I can only assume, in the mansion with the Blackbird all sewn up and everything. Beast is showing it to Mystique. They, of course, have had a really interesting relationship. They've had their ups and downs and everything. You thought they were gonna find love with each other, but no. Magneto came in and mutant cock blocked him. That's unfortunate for him. We get to see some more of the growing tech that, well, not tech, but I mean, growing powers that Apocalypse has. Everyone who watched the cartoons, and I'm sure if you had the Apocalypse action figure, he could actually get really big and everything. I'm sure that's not the only power he's going to exhibit here, but he's in the mansion and he's messing up poor Professor Xavier. That mansion does not have a good time, does it? Deadpool totally had this movie series number when it's like, oh, is the mansion blowing up again this week? Yes, it's blowing up again this week. We get to see some more of the team together in a wrecked city. I know they've said before that X-Men Apocalypse is going to be a disaster movie, and it certainly looks like there's enough destruction to warrant a disaster movie. We also get a look at these black costumes here. We'll see them again later on, and I'll talk about them more. So moving on from there. But actually, before we do, hey, it's Sansa Stark, everyone, as our new Jean Grey. What redheaded actress did we get to play one of the most famous redheaded comic characters ever? That's who. Not a bad choice. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious, but it's a good choice. Again, more destruction, the bridge just getting destroyed. What is it with the X-Men franchise and bridges? First Magneto moves that bridge, now this bridge is getting wrecked, man. It's just death to bridges all over the place. More Quicksilver running, showing off that Rush t-shirt even more. I don't know if you can see, but I'm wearing the Black Sabbath shirt that Tony Stark wears in the Avengers. I wonder if this movie will make it so that shirt sells like this one sold. I would not be surprised. It's interesting how these movies change stuff up. Okay, so now a much bigger look at the team all sitting together. Beast looks slightly better from the other movies. Again, he looked a little fake and werewolfy in Days of Future Past. As much as I loved him and as much as I loved that fight scene in the fountain, he's had his ups and downs. As far as the black armor goes, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of it. It's so sad that we've gotten so many X-Men movies in a row, and yet we seem to have taken such a huge step backwards when it comes to costuming like this. I mean, First Class had it perfect, blue and yellow, the way it was supposed to be. Why did we end up dropping it? I mean, I guess they'll have some sort of weird time travel Earth redesigning reason as to why, because this is the first movie in what I can only assume will be the new continuity with these new X-Men, but also it's going to be a send-off piece to McAvoy's Xavier and Magneto, and I can only assume a send-off to Mystique as well, because, her actress was kind of sleepwalking it through the last one, and now she's an Academy Award winner, Jennifer Lawrence and everything. So does she need this? Will we get Mystique back? I don't know. Get a nice good look here at Warren Worthington, Angel, in a weird circus cage fight with Nightcrawler. All right, that's interesting. You'll notice too, his wings are normal here in this, but as we go on through the trailer, he will actually get the metal on his wings when he becomes a horseman, and he will become Archangel officially. Also, too, talk about Nightcrawler. Well, here, looks good. He looks creepy. He looks blue. He's got the finger things. I love Nightcrawler, and Nightcrawler looks all right, so I'm excited for that. Shadowy military dudes. Obviously, they have been plaguing the X-Men from the very beginning with Stryker and everything, and now we look to be having more of that in Apocalypse, so look forward to that, everybody. We get what seems to be a new version of the Blackbird with kind of distended wings now, heading into a bunch of tornadoes. Obviously we saw the old Blackbird in Beast's workshop, and I guess this is the Blackbird 2.0 or something. Mystique kind of taking charge here in the trailer. It's interesting for the official Fox YouTube channel. When the trailer came out, it was Mystique's face that they put front and center above everything else. And, as much as you might hate to admit it, these X-Men movies are kind of driven by which actor is the hottest at the time. Hugh Jackman was doing really good, so that's why those first couple X-Men movies were all about Hugh Jackman. Then Jennifer Lawrence was doing good, and that's why Days of Future Past and First Class were more about her and Magneto. So I have to wonder, is the same thing going to happen here? It's funny, too, that she's giving a rousing speech to the other X-Men and being like, you're not students anymore, you're soldiers, you're X-Men, you're this, that, and the other. It's funny because Mystique was never an X-Men in the comics. She was always an evil, morally ambiguous mutant. So it's funny to see her kind of being the senior one and leading the charge right here. Young Cyclops doing his optic blast thing, and it's kind of hard to tell here, is that 2 individual eye beams or is that one concussive blast? Because I know that's a real sticking point for a lot of fans. I know in Origins Wolverine, it's like, hey, it's not supposed to be laser vision, it's a concussive blast, get it right. Nice look at Olivia Munn as Psylocke, chopping through cars, having a fight with Beast. Her costume looks 100% comic accurate. I don't know why of all the characters, hers is the most comic accurate, but it totally is. As far as Olivia Munn as an actress and as a performer, I can actually say I'm a bit of an Olivia Munn hipster over here because I watched her back when she was one of the hosts of Attack of the Show. She wasn't my favorite. I much preferred Allison Hayslip when she hosted, so there. Much better look now at Archangel. Silverish costume there. He's got the metal on the wings and he attacks the X-Men. It's funny, they've been threatening to do Archangel and the whole metal wings thing since like X-Men 2. That was like an excised side plot. So here you go. You're finally getting Archangel with the metal on the wings. Ooh, Havoc shooting off in his chest and Cerebrum. Now this actually will be interesting because now we essentially have both Summer brothers in this movie now because the timeline rewrote itself. So we have Havoc and we have Cyclops together. Here's hoping they actually explore their relationship, and here's hoping maybe if it's strong enough, we can see that in subsequent sequels, maybe something with Mr. Sinister and the orphanage and everything. I would very, very much like to see that. Oh, poor Mystique getting choked out right here, right now. You see, because she's the one standing up to Apocalypse here, and this looks to be at the climax of the movie, I again have to think that she is going to be a focal point of this and that she's going to have to be a main character, which isn't bad. I just hope, the actress brings the A game. And yeah, that'll pretty much do it. That's X-Men Apocalypse. As with most X-Men movies in this, Singerverse, there's some stuff I like, and there's some stuff I don't like about it. And it's even weirder now living in a post-Deadpool world where the costuming was so perfect and where also Deadpool went out of its way to mercilessly bust the balls of the X-Men franchise. It's kind of hard to take it seriously now. In a way, like, those jokes were so perfect and so cutting. You're like, yeah, the mansion does get destroyed a lot. Yeah, your timeline is needlessly complicated. And to think in 2016, when we're getting such, comic accurate versions of the Spider-Man costume and such, things like there's going to be a Batman movie where he wears the Dark Knight Returns, like, war suit, that the X-Men franchise is still doing, black armor. Just black armor for everybody in the X-Men when everyone is defined by having crazy, colorful costumes. It just seems a little weird. I know, unlike a lot of my contemporaries, I think I might be one of the more positive people on the X-Men movies. Loved First Class, really liked Days of Future Past. Matter of fact, vehemently defended that movie from other people, and yeah, I'm excited to see Apocalypse, and I'll probably enjoy it too. I don't know if it'll be as good as those other movies I mentioned, but it should be all right. It's the start of a new franchise, lots of new young actors to look forward to. So yeah, that's all I gotta say on X-Men Apocalypse. I hope you enjoyed the video. In the comment section down below, be sure to sound off if there was anything in particular I missed. What was your favorite part of the trailer? And be sure to like, subscribe, favorite, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, do all that other social media jazz, and I will see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.